There you go.
Hi everyone. Happy Thursday.
No, it's
Oh,
not Thursday.
actually, it's Monday. I'm just kidding. I did that on purpose. It's Monday. We're usually not here on Mondays. So hang on a second. Um, we are making sure I can see myself, so that's good. Okay.
And you got your sound on.
And we have sound, so that's good. So, welcome to, or happy Monday. It is virtual warehouse sale week. We survived in person this past weekend. So tonight is Monday and we're starting virtual warehouse sale week. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about, and this is kind of a question and answer. A lot of you, and I'm just going to go through the whole week, what it's going to look like. My mom is here watching comments. And so she will read them to me, because if you have a question, somebody else may have the same question. Now, a lot of you have done this for the last few years, so you know how it works, but I'm sure there's probably new people that don't know how it works, or you just need a refresher. So, warehouse sale week goes the whole week. There's a sale code. The sale code is TPC25. The same as last year, pretty easy. It stands for the paper cut, and then 25% off. So you can use it all week long. And what we do, because we have so much going on, we have flash sales every night. Those are from 6 to 9. If you note, or some of you already went on and probably saw that I posted them, I activated it, but I was having trouble with like 2 or 3 of the items. And so that's why I'm a couple minutes late, because I thought I had them all right, and then poof, they're not. And it was just me probably not looking at them close enough when I was here trying to leave to go home for an hour or so and then come back. Anyways, so we hold the orders all week long, and then we combine them. So if you are ordering, like say you ordered today and you're like, oh, I really need my stuff for making my Christmas cards or whatever, you can email me and say, Sarah, this is my only order. If you can please ship it, that would be great, because we'll process any orders that, if you're only going to order once, and that's perfectly fine. If you don't want to participate in all the virtual stuff, that's fine. You can just use the sale code. And then we can, let me know, and we'll ship your orders. So we'll start getting some of those orders out of the house right away. But if we don't hear from you, we're going to hold them for the week. Or I might email. I haven't ever done that, but I might, depending on my time situation. If I see single orders, like I might take a group of them and email. So anyways, but some of you I know are going to, especially if you're ordering flash sale stuff, you might be ordering multiple times during the week. Anyways, so the sale is good site-wide, 25% off, and it excludes the class page. So that's the only page that it excludes. So go ahead and enter the code TPC25, and that is on the checkout page. So when you go to checkout, it will give you your total. On the bottom left-hand corner, first it'll have the sale code, then it'll have your method of shipping, and then you will select your payment method. And if you pick credit card, then it'll take you to another page to fill out your credit card information. But that's where the sale code gets entered. It's kind of in the bottom left-hand corner after you hit checkout, and it subtotals everything. So you're going to want to use that code every time you check out. If you don't use the code, email me, because anything that doesn't have a code on it, those orders I will ship, because I'll assume that you didn't want to participate in the sale. I don't know why you wouldn't, but maybe some people don't know about the sale and they just found our site and they ordered. So anything without a code, I'm going to ship, unless you say, hey, I forgot the code. If you forgot the code, I can usually adjust it. If you pay by credit card, I'll just adjust it and the final capture will be correct. If you pay by PayPal, then I'll usually email you back. And I did have that happen a couple times today, where people said I forgot the sale code, and can you help me with that? So if you paid by PayPal, we prefer to sub in product. We will give you a refund, but if you sub in product, we'll give you a little bit more than what that actually would have been, just because then I'll discount on the products that you're adding on. So make sure if you miss a sale code to email me and say, hey, Sarah, please help me out. I missed the sale code. That's not a problem. We're pretty flexible with that. So,
I'll try and catch it, but I'm not counting.
and my mom will try and catch it, because what happens is the orders come in today, and she has a sorter, like an A through Z sorter, and she's going to put them in there, and she's going to, if they don't say sale code, she tries to catch them, and she gives those to me right away. If they have a sale code, then she'll put like order number 1, and then tomorrow we do the same thing all over again. I print out the orders, I give them to my mom, she goes to her alphabet sorter, and she marries them. So she'll go in her alphabet sorter and say Kathy Dunn ordered Monday and she ordered Tuesday. She'll put order 1 and then order 2, and she'll paper clip them together, and we'll do that for the whole week. And then on Saturday, when it's all done, I will start picking orders out of there, and that includes after the comments sold, because we kind of have like 3 things going on. Well,
It's amazing that we can keep it this all
so
straight.
we have the orders that come through with the sale code. We have flash sale orders that come through with the sale code, because you still get the sale code off of your flash sale items. And then we have comment sold orders coming through on Saturday. So we kind of marry all those together, and my mom will work on that daily, except for on the day that she has like her real job.
It's not even a job. Hey, I get paid, but it's like
And Costco, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, she'll marry those all together. She'll write order number 1, order number 2, and they'll be paper clipped together for each individual person in her little alphabet sorter. She's great at keeping me organized. So like I said, we will put all your orders together and then ship them. So regarding shipping, or first let's talk about checking out. Check out each night, because if you don't, your basket may disappear. I have figured out that I might be able to leave baskets, but I don't know for sure. So if you for sure, especially for flash sale items, because I think I figured out a way that I can go into the carts and then remove flash sale items, but you don't want to risk it. So just go ahead, and if you're getting flash sale items, pay every night. If you're not getting flash sale items, you might still want to pay, unless you know what you have and you don't mind putting stuff back in your cart in case it poof goes away. Because you never know with technology. I could have it set that they save, but technology, poof, it could go away. So anyways, you're better off paying for your cart as you go. So on your very first order, it's going to charge you a base shipping amount based on your dollar amount. On your second order, your third order, your fourth order, on the shipping drop down, so it's the sale code, then there's the shipping, there's a little drop down arrow, click on that and go down to the bottom, and it'll say virtual add-on. So you're adding on to your original sale order, and then it's going to charge you a little bit of shipping. Now, if you think, I probably paid too much for shipping, like if you're thinking that, that's okay. You can just go ahead and maybe click pick up at warehouse, then it won't charge any shipping, and we kind of work it out in the end. If we charge you way too much for shipping, I'll contact you. We'll either do a refund, or I'll ask you if you want to add on product. If with all your orders it was really heavy stuff and it, or it fits in bigger boxes, then we may contact you and say, hey, you owe for shipping because it doesn't fit in the regular mailboxes. We have to go to UPS, blah, blah, blah. So we do work it out in the end after we marry all the orders and the CommentSold orders together. And we try to be very fair with shipping. If it's within a few dollars either way, we just let it go. But if you overpaid for shipping, we'll contact you. If you underpaid for shipping, we'll contact you. If you use a credit card, it's really easy for me to adjust that. If you use PayPal, then we'll have an email or a conversation. So,
Question.
Will
the CommentSold be on Facebook or just YouTube or both?
CommentSold is on Facebook. CommentSold does not run on YouTube. So, but with the last CommentSold, we figured out how you can run it just on your regular computer from, a regular URL, so where you don't have to be on Facebook. If you're on, so CommentSold does not work on YouTube. Okay, CommentSold just on Facebook or just online. We are going to do a practice CommentSold on Friday at 5:30. I'll post that. But Friday, 5:30, a practice CommentSold. Not really a practice because you can order items. I'm only going to post like 2 or 3 items. But for people that are new to CommentSold, then you can see how it works ahead of time. Make sure you're registered. Make sure things are going through and it's working. And you can purchase items or you can take them out of your cart and not pay for them. But we are going to do a practice one Friday, 5:30 Central Time, right here. Practice CommentSold. Even if you've done CommentSold and you just want to tune in for a refresher, that's fine because we'll go really slow. We'll answer questions. We'll make sure everybody that wants to be on is on, especially new people. You might want to see how it works ahead of time. And where I said that you can watch it on just on the website, there's a little delay. So items that only have 1, 2, 3 items, you might not get those because there's a little delay when you're doing it on the website versus on Facebook. So I think I answered that.
Okay.
But yes, YouTube, CommentSold does not work on YouTube.
All right. I see that there are at least 10 people on your virtual class page, Sarah.
Okay.
I posted a link in case they have problems.
Okay, on the virtual class page, sometimes there are connection issues where you'll lose feed or it'll drop or you won't have sound. So my mom posted there the link to YouTube. So for watching classes, sometimes it works better to watch it either on the main Facebook page or on YouTube versus the virtual class page or virtual class group. But again, CommentSold on Saturday does not run on YouTube. So, let's see, where was I? Oh, we'll marry all the orders together. Shipping. If you think you are paying too much for shipping, go ahead and go all the way down to the bottom and select pick up at warehouse. Well, if you have 3 other orders that you've paid for shipping and you're out of state, I pretty much know that you're not going to pick up. So don't worry about that. We still will marry all your orders together and we'll figure it out in the end. Let's see. I'm just got up my list here. Multiple orders, we're holding them all. Pay each night because your cart may empty. Your flash sale items will disappear if you don't pay. CommentSold is on Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. We'll do a practice at 5:30 p.m. Sale code, make sure to enter it each time, TPC25. Not too many questions. A lot of you have done this before, so you know what's going on. So let's go to, just a minute, we're going to hold up flash sale items.
Okay.
So every night we do flash sale. It's from 6 until 9. Tonight we are, and usually I try and have a little theme of what we're doing. So tonight, oh, I forgot something. Hang on. My mom can talk for a minute. I give her permission.
You know what happened last year when she walked out of the room? I opened my mouth and said, "Oh, I know what we can do. We can do some fun things with Sue's stash." So we did that, and Sarah came back and just about fainted dead away. So this year I don't know what she's going to do, but I know she's going to do something. So stay tuned, and that's probably all she's going to let me say.
Because I'm coming back.
Yeah, she's coming back now.
Yeah. So for flash sale tonight, it is Curious Metallics. So a lot of the Curious Metallics are discontinued. And so they need to leave the warehouse at some point. So they're on flash sale. Well, some other stocks are on, there's a few non-Curious Metallic stocks that are on flash sale. So I'm just going to go through some of the flash sale items, but it's all stocks tonight. It's 8.5 by 11, and then I do have some metallic text inserts. If you order $25 or more in flash sale items, you're going to get a make and take kit. Not a kit, make and take card, and this was from our in-person make and take. So remember the card we did last week Thursday with the little boy and the little boy fishing and the stenciled background. So that little kit looks like this. So if you order $25 in flash sale items, you will get one of the little make and take kits. We'll do that again this year. We did that last year too if you ordered $25. This year we're also adding on for everybody on Monday night that orders $25 in flash sale. Their name's going to go into a drawing, and we have 3 of these to give away. We're looking for 2 more so we can do one every night, but it is our cookbook. It's actually my daughter's hot off the ice cookbook, but in this cookbook there are family recipes. So there's the pepperoni bread recipe, there is the overnight caramel nut rolls, there's the wild rice soup, the cream of broccoli soup. So some of the favorites from our family are in here, and it'll be a drawing for everybody that orders $25 in flash sale items. We'll go into a drawing for the cookbook, and hopefully we can find 2 more so we can do one every night. So anyways, flash sale, bulk stock, basis magenta. It's the only basis left in stock. This is a 25 count package. Normally it's $10.30. It's on sale for $5. With the 25% off, it'll be $3.75. Then we have 2, and these are called skins. Why they're called skins, I have no idea. But they are a really soft feeling paper, and it's a really true black, and it's a really nice red. So they're 100 pound. These are 10 count. Skin red, skin black. They're normally $12.30. They're on sale for $8. With the 25% off, it'll be $6. So skin red, skin black. And then we have our Curious. So some of the Curious are different prices. So let me get those out here first. These are the 111 pound Curious. They're normally 11, and it's 8.5 by 11, 10 sheets. They're normally $11.50, on sale for $7.50. With your 25% off, they'll be $5.62. So we've got electric blue, red lacquer, chestnut, and champagne. These are all discontinued, so when they're gone, they're gone. And then we have some of the 92 pound Curious. These are normally $9, on sale for $6. Then with your 25% off, they'll be $4.50 for 10 sheets. So the ice gold, this one has a little bit of a gold undertone, where the ice silver that I like so much, which is gone, has a silver undertone.
Nothing.
This is ice gold, and then we have ionized and galvanized. Those are all 10 sheet, 8.5 by 11. And then the last thing is the text weight paper. So this is text inserts. So these are cut to fit inside your card. They're 5 by 8. You fold them, they fit inside an A2 card. It's 50 of them, 25 of champagne, 25 of ice gold. They're normally $11.50, on sale for $7.50. With your discount, they're $5.62 for 50 of them. So when I say text insert, I mean you fold it in half, and it's what fits inside a scored card. So your pretty metallic cards, if they're darker, it's nice to have a text insert on the inside to write on. So those are the flash sale items for tonight. Are those cards? Not card stock. They are card stock. I went and pulled just half sheets, but they are full 8.5 by 11 card stock. One of them that I had, I didn't have any full size sheets of, so I did pull a scored card just so I could show you the color. So they are all, with the exception of the last item that I showed, which is the text inserts, They are all full 8.5 by 11 sheets. The basis magenta is 25. The rest of them are 10. And make sure to enter your sale code TPC25 and you'll get 25% off of the sale price.
And I put a link up there for
And my
them.
mom put a link up there. She's on it. So,
Not as fast as, who was that used to really?
oh, that was Melinda. Melinda Morning used to do that. So anybody spending $25 will go into a drawing for the cookbook, the hot off the ice cookbook with some of our family recipes and our pepperoni bread. So anyways,
Oops. MJ, I just posted a link. You should see that link.
yeah, the flash sale items are always on the sale page and they're only there from 6 until 9 with the exception of cards night because we usually run later. But on the left hand side are our headings. So it'll say bulk papers, slimline, some scrapbooking, something else, sale items. Click on there. Then there's a big box that says flash sale items or daily flash sale items or something like that. So that'll be there from 6 to 9. Don't worry if you log on at 5 to 6, probably not there. If you log on at 6:05, even if you can't watch me, they'll be there. So, and I'll have a different theme every night. I don't know exactly what those are. I have a whole bunch of stuff on my desk or a card in my office right now to decide what we're going to do each night. So it's going to be a surprise to you and to me and to my mom. So anyways, alrighty. We are going to start class unless there's any more questions on how the sale works, shipping, checking out. You can always email me too if you have any questions. If you're not comfortable placing an order online, or if you're having any trouble checking out, you can always copy and paste your cart into an email and email it to me. Or I had somebody call today that had questions and wanted to order because I can sometimes get to your cart and then create it and help you over the phone. So we're pretty flexible here, and just have fun doing it. So anyways, okay, let's go down to the table and I can still answer questions.
Okay. You're down there, Sarah.
Okay, so tonight, and I've got to get a drink of water.
Do you want me to get a bottle for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
Will you please?
Yes.
There's some in the refrigerator.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that would be great.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so tonight we are doing this class. We're doing the watercolor and alcohol ink backgrounds, but tonight we're doing just the watercolor cards. I knew that I was going to be talking a lot, so I decided to just do this one that had 3 of them, versus doing the alcohol ones, which is 4. So we're going to start out with these. I did forget, I have it right here. You'll need a water brush, you'll need a water brush. If you have a block, that would be good. Also maybe a piece of paper towel. I forgot to say that initially, to have a piece of paper towel. And then for this one card, you do need an ink pad, either a tan one or I have a caramel. So if you want to pull those kits out. And then there's an extra package in your kit that has, and I'm looking for a kit. There's an extra package in the kit that has this little palette of colors in it, plus it has some other papers in it. And I don't have a whole, hang on a second. I do have a kit. I'm just grabbing it.
Oh, she left me alone. Oh, she
I
just
left her
outside.
alone. Again. So in your kit, there's this extra package in there. Nancy finished her cards. She came from Minnesota, came to the in-person, so she finished her cards already. But there's an extra package. And in this package, you will need out this swatch. Okay. You will not need out the mirror card. You will not need the Yupo. There's a piece of watercolor paper in there. You may need that. This is a piece of crystal diamond print. I like to watercolor on it. If you want to get it out and play with it, you can. I'm not going to play with, well, maybe I'll play with
Do you want me
mine.
to open that water for you, or did you get it open?
I'll get it.
Okay.
Thank you though.
Mhm.
And then there's some holographic and some Bianco Pearl. So you can put these back in there if you want, because that's like for the alcohol section of this. So you can pull out your color palette, and there's an extra piece of watercolor in there, and it might be smaller than that, it might be bigger, but it's just for playing around with different colors. So
Hopefully those colors are all put together right.
yeah. So I have a new appreciation. So Becky and my mom have done these color palettes previously for like Crafters Classroom kits or class kit, and I did them I did a lot of them. My mom did some of them. And my hands, and I cut like the little pieces, and my hands were just covered in ink. I had to wash them periodically. So these are the 3 cards we're doing. Let's start with, let's actually start with this one, which in the kit looks like this. I have 2 kits by me. So on here, this is a rubbernecker die where it's got this piercing, and I do have some of these dies, and I will have them on CommentSold. And then the other pieces in this kit are an envelope, a scored card, a card with some words on it, and then a little die cut piece. So those you can just set aside, you just don't want to get them dirty. When you're playing with the watercolor, this is the cold press. This is the cold, yeah, this is, oh no, I can't even tell which one this is right now at the moment. It's either the cold press or, I think it's the hammered actually. Yeah, it is the hammered. So this is the hammered. The hammered and the cold press act a lot alike. With the hammered though, you can emboss on it, heat emboss. With the cold press, you can't heat emboss on it. It is so absorbent that you stamp on it with your Versamark, you put your powder on it, and you go to emboss it, and it's just like, it just doesn't stick. So the hammered is really nice for embossing. But they act a lot the same when you're applying colors to them. So we're doing just a background wash on here. If you have never used the Peerless, you can play with it a little bit on this one, which is the one that you got in your little sample kit. And you want to have a paper towel, but just to get the feel of it. If you've played with the Peerless before, you might not need to use your tester sheet, but what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze your brush till you get a water drop. Don't do it over the top of your palette, do it over the top of like a paper towel, because you don't want a big drop of water going on your color palette. Your color palette is actually little sniblets from this Peerless book. So in here, there's sheets, and the ink is dried on there. So the ink is like baked on to these sheets, and you squeeze a drop, but you don't want the big drop going on there. So you get it wet, you pick up the color, and then you see how it goes on nice and bright, and then you can dilute it out. Or you can also take and pick up, and you're going to use your paper towel to just get the color off your brush to go on to the next color. But you can take and you can put some on a block and add some water to it and make like a wash, which we're going to do on one of the other cards. So on our good one that is pierced, and if you get too much color on there, you can always blot it, and that will pull your color off. See how much color it pulled off of there compared to when I had just put it on and then I blotted some off. But on our pierced one, I started, and this is our sample. This is about half of the sheet. So you can actually make 2 cards out of this. And so when I started, I started with yellow in the middle, and then I went up and did yellow, orange, and then I think I did red, and then down here I did green and blue and purple. If I would have planned better, but I ended up cutting the top and the bottom off. But depending on how you do these colors, you can cut it just in half and have one for one card and one for another card. Where is the Peerless watercolors found? Teresa, if you're asking where they're found on our website,
I'll go get it.
My mom will get the link for you. It's on the accessory page, which is under Paper Basics, and then accessories, and then the Peerless book should be on there. Or you could just type in the search bar the word Peerless. And when you're typing in the search bar, if you just type in something, like don't type in too much, and then you have a better chance of finding it. Our search isn't that great. But anyways, let's just start, and you're just going to wash a color, and then you're going to go on to your next color. Start with your lightest color. So again, you're going to squeeze it. You're going to squeeze it to get a drop. Then you're going to pick up your color, which I'm going to pick up my Brilliant Yellow first.
Sir, it's not there.
It's not
Even
there.
when I typed in Peerless, the only thing that came up was your watercolor
Okay,
background.
well, Teresa, I will look for it, and I will, not during class, but after class I will look for it and I will get it posted.
Thank you.
But then I can blend my next color. See how those two colors blend together. Then I can maybe go to my Royal Crimson. And I can get a little bit more color on there. Usually I wonder if I was really low on them, so they got taken off.
I'll bet that's what happened because I'm not seeing it right.
Okay. But I can get them back on, because with not shipping the orders right away, if I'm out of something like those, I can probably get back in stock before we start shipping orders. But they may have like run out at the sale and they just got taken off. So if I want to add more yellow, I can add more yellow on there. And then down here, I'm going to start with my green and add some greens.
Sarah, MJ put in coupon code TP. Oh, you put in TCP. It's TPC,
Yeah,
the paper cut 25.
Did I put it wrong somewhere?
Well, I don't know, but it looks like MJ put in TCP rather than TPC.
Okay, yeah, it's TPC. People have been using it during the day. I apologize if I put it wrong on something. Like on the bottom of the screen or somewhere I might have put it wrong. And if you only wanted to do half of this, that's fine too. But see, between my colors I can blend them together. So now it's pretty wet and I do need to dry it. So I'm just going to set mine aside to dry, and I'm probably going to cut mine. So we're just going to set this aside. Just set it aside. Let it dry while we work on another one. So I have my colors on there. I liked how the watercolor went over the stitched die. Oops, I missed a little spot right here. Blend some color, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to set that one aside to dry. Now we can go, maybe we'll go to our, since we're doing washes, we'll go to this one, which is the tree one. Because that one uses a wash also. Well, they all use a wash because it's the background. So that first one was the hammered. This one is the, oops, hang on a second, I'm missing a piece. Because some of these kits, like I used them in person, or I used parts of them in person.
Whoops.
Yeah, and then I didn't add all the pieces back in. So in this kit, you have, and if you're ever missing anything, if you're watching live, like right now, you could tell my mom what you're missing, and she'll write it down. I'll send it to you in the mail. If you're watching the replay, please email me, because I don't get back to watch, to check all the comments. So please, if you're watching the replay of this and you're missing a piece, please email sarah@thepapercut.com. So in this kit, you're going to have a white card. You're going to have a watercolor piece, which it is the size of, the actual card. We're going to trim it down after the fact, I think, because like I said, I have like a miscellaneous kit in here. I might actually go pull an actual kit. You have some birds and you have a saying. I'm trying to get my birds out. So you have some little birds.
That was a fun card.
And you have a tree. Well, okay, let me tell you about this card. I had done it, and I had done a different background for it, and I had kind of done like this with the moon up here and just blues and purples. And my mom's like, why don't you do like the blood orange sky or blood red, or I saw this, and why don't you do that? And my first reaction was, no, I'm not doing that. I was already done and I didn't want to redo it.
Here comes the daughter all over the...
Yeah. And then I was standing in here in my room, and I'm like, oh, fine, I'll do it. And I like that a lot better. So then I went out by her. I'm like, oh, okay, that turned out really good. Good idea, Mom. But at first I was, yeah.
Yeah, mother trying to be bossy to the daughter. Oh, my God.
No, I was just kind of mentally done that day, and I was just kind of like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so on this one, you also have a circle in here and a... this is a piece of Yupo. So I wanted to send you like a piece of mask that I could punch out, and I didn't have any of those like masking sheets that I could punch out. So I thought, well, okay, we're gonna do just a Yupo circle because it's waterproof and it'll pretty much, it's not gonna absorb the water, so you can use it as a mask. Well, when I did that, because it is waterproof, and I wasn't holding it tight, some of the water seeped underneath it, and I didn't get a perfect moon or sun or whatever. And you know what? That ended up being okay, because in the sky it's not perfect anyway. Sometimes it's all like hazy, and I really liked that. So that's what this piece is for, is to use as a mask. But the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put some on a block, and we're going to make a wash. So you're going to take some of the brilliant yellow. Don't squeeze it over the top. Take some of the brilliant yellow, put it on your block, and then add water, because we want a wash. We want it very light. Okay? See, even on this outskirts, it's much lighter. And we're just going to do a wash, because this is kind of this very light yellow background that's right here. If it goes on too dark, you can blot it off. So if you get more concentrated yellow on there, you can always like blot it off, and that'll take some of the color off, because you want very light yellow.
So, Sarah, you were very gracious that day.
It was a very good idea. But I was like done with designing, so I was mentally done. We can try that if we want. And then we might get less seepage. I didn't, and I really don't care if I have seepage, but now we're going to take our circle over the top and set it there and just kind of hold it there. And now we're going to go and we're going to make our background. So first, if I want to do yellow, like maybe I've got too much yellow on there, but if I want to do a more concentrated yellow, I can go right over the top of here. And it's okay if you don't get it all the way, depending on, oops, I'm pulling in some purple from my purple, so I'm just going to move that. And then we can do orange. go all the way to the edge, but you might end up trimming some of the edges off, because I can't remember in the kits if I did the whole amount or not. But go ahead and do some orange on top. Hold it down a little, because you might get some seeping underneath, and you know what, that's okay, because sunsets are not perfect, cards are not perfect, card making is not perfect, and it's your own creation. Nobody's going to see mine, nobody's going to see your neighbors. But then you can get some more concentrated orange on here. And then we can do some red on there also. My water brush is starting to run out of water, but I think I have another water brush here. And we can make it a little bit more concentrated if we want, so you can pull some water off and make it more concentrated. And then we're going to go up with the oranges too, or the reds too. And then we're going to do purples at the top. And I have my Wisteria Violet. And you can even put some purple down at the very bottom too. But it just, I really liked this background more than I liked my original background.
Thank you.
So that was a good idea. And sometimes you just need somebody else's perspective to say, hey, why don't you do this? And it's okay. That doesn't mean they don't like yours. That just means they have a different idea. And we can even take some red and go in, you know, a little bit of red wherever, because it's not perfect. But you can see how the cold press watercolor, you can work it, work it, work it. Okay, because my last card is going to be with the purple and the brown. So, and actually this palette is one that I used earlier too. So now I do want to get my sun off of there and see if I bled any out underneath. Yeah, there's a little that bled underneath, and that's okay. Because the sun is not, and we can even like bleed it out a little bit more so it looks a little hazy. Because our trees are going to go over the top of that. Okay, so now we can let that dry, or we can heat it to dry it, or we can put it aside and let it dry by our other one. I used a lot of water, so I need to get another water brush out. So I'm just going to kind of, actually I might heat this one to dry it. Let's just do that. You don't have to. And while I have my heat tool out, I might pull the one from the first card just to heat it also. And this is a background, and we're going to cover it up with our trees. If it's getting kind of curly, you can turn it over, heat it from both sides a little bit.
Oh, that's really pretty, Sarah.
What?
That's really pretty.
Yeah, I like the haziness of the sun. That's why I didn't mind using the Yupo and letting the water bleed underneath it a little bit. This was our first one. Just going to dry that one. And again, you can turn it over and dry it from the back. This one is the hammered. your work area just a tiny bit. So let's just go on, because if we dried it, we can assemble it. So our card layer, because at least in my kit, is a little bit big. So it should be 4 by 5 1/4. So we're layering it on an A2 card. So it's 4 by 5 1/4. I have a demo kit or a sample kit, so yours might be cut to size. So if yours is cut to size, it should be 4 by 5 1/4, and that's what gets layered on your A2 card. If yours isn't to size, go ahead and cut it to 4 by 5 1/4. Difference between hammered and cold press. The hammered, they both act where they pretty close to the same, where they both take a lot of water. The cold press probably takes a little bit more water, and I bet if you work the hammered as much as the cold press, it might start to pill. The cold press, however, you cannot emboss, so you can't heat emboss an image on the cold press. The cold press, though, the colors will stay on top a little bit longer, and you're able to blot colors off a little bit longer. So on the cold press, you can blot off a little bit longer, and in the hammered, it might soak in a little bit more, so you don't have as much flexibility with blotting your colors off. So, because it's going to soak in a little bit faster. And somebody this weekend told me that it's because of the sizing that's on the cold press, why it won't emboss and why the colors stay on top and you're able to manipulate them a little bit more. So make sure your surface is dry, or you use a new piece of paper. And let's see, my tree, I have that here. I have all kinds of like kits in front of me, partially opened kits. So I'm trying to figure out what I have. Oh, here it is. So we're just going to attach that on there with ATG tape. And then we are going to attach our tree on there. I just love that. I love that color combination, the vividness of it.
The trees are perfect, Sarah. The trees are just perfect.
We did use these trees like some years ago, not for virtual ever, or not for virtual, for an in-person class with like on the silver Miri sparkle with ghosts, and it looked really nice too.
Oh man, that sounds fantastic. Mm-hmm. And you found your tree dies really easily,
and I
didn't
found
you,
my
Sarah?
tree dies because the librarian had them nicely organized.
The librarian. Oh.
So make sure everything is poked out. I didn't do any homework, so mine aren't poked. So yeah, half of this class is watercolor, half of it is alcohol inks. So we'll do the alcohol inks on Wednesday. Oh, I just love that. The other thing we have in there is some birds. And I thought I had, there are 3 little birds.
Yeah, reminds me of the beautiful sunsets we had last week. That is for sure.
Okay, so now I am going to get out the glue press that's by My Sweet Petunia that I was gifted 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, we did have some really pretty sunsets last week, Kathy.
So I'm going to put glue on here, which I'm not usually a wet glue girl, but this kind of is like a game changer for putting on small amounts of glue.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah. My eyes aren't the best though, so.
Mine aren't either, so we won't know.
I'm just saying. Following when you can't. I need glasses is what I need. I should really go get an eye exam.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. It's been a few years.
What is that one called, Sarah?
This is the Glue Press by My Sweet Petunia. It's the maker of Misty. You can put on really thin stripes or little teeny dots of glue.
What is it called again?
It's called a Glue Press
Glue.
by My Sweet Petunia. And it was gifted to me by Ileana from My Sweet Petunia. And it's got that handy dandy little holder. The one thing I do need is like tweezers to pick up my stuff so then I don't get glue on my hands. And then with putting pieces down, I don't like to use my hands to push. I like to use my post-it notes or the back of a post-it note to actually push. And then we have our Word, so I'm going to pop that up with foam tape. If you ever come to my in-person classes, we use these. We use ribbon spools, and then I just attach pieces of foam tape on there because it just makes it easier for in-person, and it goes a little bit quicker. So yeah, I saw Bernice said that she's not that she loves wet glue, and Bernice,
Yeah.
I'm not usually a wet glue girl, but I really like the glue press. Because that's I think what I have trouble with is that I can't get it come out thin enough. And on something this big, I don't want to use my microdots because I don't want to use my whole microdotted sheet on something this big, but it's kind of detailed, so it was nice to use the glue press for that. Do you sell that tree die? The tree die is from Impressionist Session, and if there's any left, I did have them this weekend for our in-person sale. I don't normally carry dies online. If I have any left over, it will be, you could email me and find out, and I could always add it onto your order, but do that through an email. And B, if I do have any left over, they will be in CommentSold on Saturday. But you could always email me ahead of time to find out. So now I just have to decide where my birds are going. I am going to put one bird right here. And I can put down just a teeny tiny thing of glue. Because this is black mirror card, so we don't want to get glue on the front of it. Let's see, which way is this guy going? We'll put him right up there. Oops. My fingers won't pick up this last bird. So we had a bird die with a bunch of different birds on it. There were like 10 of them. So you may or may not have the same birds that I have.
Yes.
And so that means you may put your bird somewhere else.
Just don't give somebody the bird.
Yeah, just don't give somebody the bird, because that would be nice. So there, we have that one done. I maybe need a little bit of glue underneath here. Let's see if I can get just a teeny.
On my wish list, the glue press.
Yep.
The Precision Glue Press by
My Sweet Petunia.
My Sweet Petunia. You can see if your local stores carry it. Otherwise, you can go on the internet and find it all over the place. But around, what was that? Around $60, $70, I think.
I can't
Or
remember.
$35? I don't remember.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so we're done with that one. Look at, so the colors that I did the other day came out more like this, and the colors that I did today, see, they came out totally different. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go back to this one since we are done. I think my directions say to cut this to 2.5.
$34.99
Okay.
for that.
You might have been looking at a gel press, Mom.
No,
'Cause
I
there's-
was looking at Blue Press. I just didn't remember the price.
Oh, okay. Because there is a gel press. So I cut mine to, and this is mine, I cut mine to 2 5/8. So if you want to use middle colors, you can use middle colors, or you can use your, whatever section of that you want. If you want to cut it into 2 sections, then you can make 2 cards. So 2 5/8. So I could save this one for later. And this one is white on the top, so make sure you are on a clean section of your mat. I just attached my words to the front. You may be crafting and shopping.
Yes.
That's okay. All right, and then you can just attach, oh, you're going to trim that. So the side also gets trimmed off to 3 7/8. So 3 7/8 is your side. I think I make them a little bit wide just so you can trim off, like if you're holding on to it and you don't get ink all the way to the ends, you have a little leeway to trim off any white spots if you just didn't get it all the way to the end. So yes, you are going to attach that right above your words. If you didn't like my words, you can always just stamp something else. I'm sure you have stamps, and it was just black ink. So we're just going to attach our layer, and then our die cut is going to be popped up with foam tape. And if you want to add some of your own bling, like on the bottoms of the cake, you can. So we're just going to pop that out. Now this is done on the hammered. You can tell there's a little bit of texture to it. And like I said, if you want to put some gems on there, you can. I'm going to put foam tape back here. I'm going to kind of hold those guys in there for now. We did heat seal, or not heat seal, but we did heat our watercolor. Just make sure it was dry before you do any of your attaching, because sometimes tapes and glues don't like to stick to wet. And you can use as much or as little foam tape on there as you want. Sometimes I don't use this much foam tape. I don't know why I am. But I am. So tomorrow we have one more card, and then tomorrow night we are doing Creamy Dreamy, which is mostly just die cut cards, featuring some Impression Obsession dies. And I will talk to Impression Obsession, because I think last year she gave us a coupon code. So if I ask her again this year, she probably will give us a coupon code too. So, because the Creamy Dreamy dies I do not have in stock. But I might be doing some of those as a Christmas card kit, which I'm super late on. Okay. One of my piece of foam tape came off. So that can just go wherever you want. And then if you do want to put some gems on there, you could. So there, we've got our card 2 done. Yay.
Nice.
Oops, one of my birds didn't stick. I must have not had enough glue. Hang on. I'm just going to go over here and reattach a bird. That one stuck. That one stuck. Yep. That was one little birdie wanted to fly away. Fly away, birdie. Fly away. Okay, so we're done with that. And now we are going on to our last card. And we have another piece of this that we can save for a future card. Now we're doing this one. Okay, so now this one for sure was done on the hammered because I was able to heat emboss it. So like I was saying earlier, one of the biggest difference between the cold press and the hammered is the hammered you can heat emboss. The cold press is so absorbent, and from the sizing that's on it, you can stamp it, you can put your powder on it, it looks like it sticks, but then it doesn't work. So this one, you can see that I made this longer, so you can test color down here for a little ways, or you can just use that to hang on. Now the brown, it was a little tricky getting that shade of brown, and honestly I can't even remember exactly what I did, so I'm going to be playing with it a little bit too, because the brown that's on our little palette is a little let's see, that's not my palette. Where did my palette go? I've got multiple palettes in front of me. From different classes. This is the mahogany brown. So it had a little bit more red in it, but the other one was way on the other side of brown, like more black. So I put this one in the kit, and I just remember the day that I made this, I did futz around with the browns. Now some people, when they made this card in person, just looked or just did the purple instead of the brown. So totally up to you. If you want to skip the brown, you can skip the brown. You can also test on your other piece of, this is the cold press, so, but it's going to act fairly close, and this is the hammered that's embossed. So yes, and Bernice, I did emboss that.
Yeah.
It's white ink on white paper, and yes, I embossed all the class kits. So now you have a piece of,
I was waiting for you to break before I told you that.
there's a piece of taupe in here that I dragged an ink pad over, and I can't remember if I used the light tan or if I used the medium caramel. So I'm going to start with my lighter ink pad just to test it. If I don't like the lighter, I can always go to the darker. If I do the darker on there first and I don't like it, well then I do have the back side, but it's this is a 3D embossing folder, so it's a little bit different on both sides. And I know I do have this embossing folder left. I don't have many of the embossing folders left because this is from the embossing folder class. So I took all the embossing folders offline, and they are going to be in CommentSold unless somebody emails me ahead of time and wants one, but otherwise I just didn't have enough to put out there because I don't want to oversell them. So first I'm going to do direct to paper, and yes, this is the lighter one, and it is plenty dark, and it is going to dry a little bit lighter because I'm pretty sure I used that same one. So it did go on a little darker, it'll dry a little bit lighter, and this is the taupe paper. These are the same colors of ink that we'll need on our Friday night cards class. We're just going to set that aside for now. We are going to pull out a piece that we can play on. We're also going to pull out a block because you can mix colors on a block. And we are going to pull out our water brush. I have to get one that has water in it. That one's empty. Oh, this one has water in it. So, and I need a piece of paper towel because I think I used, oh, here it is. It's pretty used, but I think I can still dab off on it. So we have our mahogany brown, and I'm just going to test it. See, actually, I think that is closer to the right color, but if you wanted to mix any colors with it, you could put it on there, and then I'm not sure what color we mix with that to get it to go darker. It might be green. Yeah, I think that gets it to go more brown. So if you add, this is off the mahogany, this is with, on my block, the mahogany, and then I added a little teeny tiny bit of green. So you can kind of play with colors on your block to see what combines to get to the shade that you want. That's the nice thing about the Peerless, is you can kind of, you know, play with your shades. And and it doesn't have to be perfect. So it's okay. So if yours doesn't look like mine, it doesn't. So I kind of, if I remember correctly, I kind of mostly did a purple wash on here. Somebody this weekend that was in person did really dark purple over the top of the white dandelions, and that looked super pretty. So whatever you want to do is correct. You don't have to worry about doing anything wrong. You just go for it. So I'm going to actually start with that. Because, yeah, I remember looking at hers and it was like, wow, that's super pretty. I started a little bit low, but I can... And remember, you're going to cut some of this bottom off. And if I want to blot and then add some... And even just with the variance in there of my purples, it looks pretty. So if I want to add some of the brown, I can. And it doesn't have to be all over. It can just be a few random. So then you pull in the browns that kind of go with your brown layer. And it doesn't even have to be all the way off. You can have edges that are, you know, not watercolored at all. So
Kathleen Ressler Moore said she loves dandelions, the flower of military children, because they can grow anywhere.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either, but
that's kind of nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Thanks for sharing that information, Kathleen.
Yes, thank you.
So I posted a link to some great dandelion information that I had.
Mm-hmm. Nice. See, it's all about sharing, even if it's crafting or other things. You know, we just share whatever knowledge we have. So I'm just going to leave mine with that. So sometimes when you work it too much, you go past the point of what you like. So sometimes it's better to just stop and breathe for a minute. Oh yeah.
And
Heidi.
purple is the color of military children. Thanks, Heidi.
Yeah. It's purple and the dandelion.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So
How about that?
yeah.
Happenstance, Sarah. Things happen for a reason.
Yep. So that we're going to dry. Let me check, because I did make this one long, remember, and we're going to trim that. So the Aberdeen is cut to size. And we're going to trim. So I'm going to get my ruler out so we can have it out, and it's not clear, so I didn't lose it on my workspace.
What a pretty card.
But most of the numbers are worn off. So
Mhm.
hang on. So I cut my watercolor to 4 1/8. 4 1/8 to fit on my, I'm going to measure from a different set of numbers just to make sure my eyes were seeing correctly. Yes. 4 1/8. So I'm going to dry it though first. So let me get my heat tool. Let me get my heat tool out. This is weird being here with you on Monday. Usually I'm here with you on a Thursday. But I'll be here with you on Thursday too. And Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Friday, and Saturday. You're gonna have had enough of me, aren't you?
No, never, never.
You know what? I'm looking at my tan ink pad, and I'm wondering if somebody put, because that looks darker than what it should be. I'm wondering if somebody put the wrong lid on the wrong pad, because it shouldn't be that dark, or it should be drying. Well, thanks, Wendy.
Are you on YouTube, Sarah? Are you watching this on YouTube, or where?
I'm watching it on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Just on my phone.
Okay.
I'm gonna add a little purple up here. I don't know why, because I said stop, but then I don't know. I just felt like a little bit more purple. No, I've got my phone sitting up here.
Okay.
I think another reason I made them long is because I was stamping all of those, and in case I was not up high enough, I wanted to make sure that you could trim to get whatever section that you wanted. So I am going to trim a hair off my top, and then I said trim to 4 1/8. So whatever position you want, trim it to 4 1/8. 4 1/8.
Hi, Penny. Hope you're doing well.
Oh yeah, Penny. Hope you're feeling better. Okay, so now, again, I'm looking for my class. Oh, here it is, right off to my right. See, when I did it this weekend, it had way more red in it. So, but this time, remember, I did take my brown and I mixed it with a tiny bit of green, and that darkened it up. Make sure your surface is totally dry, or you're on something clean. And I'm going to put down my brown piece.
She's my favorite
first.
creator instructor too, Bernice. Thank you.
Thanks, Bernice. Yeah, sometimes, honestly, you guys, I do kind of worry that, you know, are my cards going to look too much the same? You've been making cards with me for 3 years, right? Did we started this 3 years ago?
Yeah, 20, 21, 22. This is the 4th year.
Wow. Yeah, 20, 21, 22, and now we're in 23. Wow, you guys have been making cards with me for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So I kind of worry, like, am I going to be able to keep it interesting and keep you wanting to make cards with me? So thank you for sticking with me for all these years.
Whether it was virtually or on the
in
road.
person.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
So now if, depending, like if you trim too much or you don't trim enough, I think trimmed a little bit too much. So to make it even, I have to trim a hair more.
Here we go.
Here we go. But that's okay. Nobody's going to see my card compared to your card.
Teresa says, thanks for sharing your creativity with us, Sarah.
Oh, you are so very welcome. I love it. I'm still having fun doing it. So I'm going to tape this one on there, and then I'm going to wrap the ribbon. I'm not the best ribbon bow tire. Sometimes you love to keep them. Well, thank you.
Yeah. A crossover person, Bernice Rogers. Thank you. Oh, no, that was Jill Chapman that said that. She came to you from Crafter's Classroom. Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, you guys rock.
Okay, so now tie a bow, and then there are a couple little gems in the bin. Now I think I had little pearls on my actual sample, but I couldn't find little pearls at the moment. So I went with some little gems, and I used alcohol ink and colored them like taupey color.
Ooh, that's a nice idea.
Yeah.
Oh, here goes Sarah with her bow tying again. I know she just loves tying bows. You do a nice job, Sarah.
Yeah. Sometimes the bows just they have a mind of their own.
Yeah, they do their own.
There is that like bow tying tool, but I never got one of those.
It's like me trying to use the automatic threader on the sewing machine this weekend.
So I did tape this one down. I had to pick it up to actually see if I used foam tape, which is kind of shocking that I didn't use foam tape. But sometimes when your bow is too loose on the front, you can pull it over in the back and just kind of tighten it up. So I can like pull my ribbon one way and tighten that up. I do have some ribbon that will be in the CommentSold sale, like in 3 or 5 yard baggies. So if you like this ribbon, I know I have some of that in the CommentSold sale this weekend. All kinds of stuff.
Oh, Penny, you've been through the mill.
Wow, Penny.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're feeling better soon. Oh, I don't have time to read your whole thing, but I will later. But it's just,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yikes.
thinking of you and hope that you're feeling better soon or feeling back to normal soon. So now I'm just looking for my little gems.
In the hospital for 9 days.
Wow.
Gosh.
Yeah. So I can't find my little gems, but you guys should have yours. I might be able to find some somewhere. I'm not too worried about it. And this one, this is also unusual for me. I did not put a verse on it. Usually I put a verse on almost everything. This one, after I made this card, I wasn't sure where to put it. I wasn't sure if I should put like a little tiny word down here or something going, sideways, or something up here. So I just left it blank and figured then you could do whatever you want with it. You could even leave it blank on the front and then just write on the inside. So that's why I didn't put a verse on there, where normally you will see a verse on almost all of my card fronts. But this one is just a little bit different.
Stampin' Sue says she missed seeing you at the Collinsville stamp show. You don't see that because you're...
it's on.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Virtual, I think.
So
sorry.
sorry.
It's on YouTube.
Sorry we weren't there. We just decided not to travel and do the shows. So, but maybe someday I can come. Like Rubbernecker carried our stuff, I think, at some of the shows. I found some gems. I don't know if they're the right ones, so I'm just gonna stick those on there. But maybe I'll come with them and demo in their booth or something. So. Your gems, I think, are a little taupier colored than these.
Good night. See you tomorrow night, Diana.
So, all right, we will let you go for tonight. And these are the cards we made. And we will see you tomorrow night. We'll be doing Creamy Dreamy tomorrow night. But even if you're not taking the class and you can't pop on for very long, just pop on for the flash sales, and then we'll be doing class, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Wait a minute.